A very good morning to all. Welcome back to our course on the C programming language. In this session, I am planning to discuss about the introduction to the string handling functions. We will also discuss some of the string handling functions that are available in C. Of course, we have so many of string handling functions that are available in the C programming language, but we will be confining our discussion on 4 most important string handling functions, and we will try to see the implementation of these string handling functions with the programming examples also. So, what are these string handling functions? Means we know what a string is. We have gone through this string in the previous discussion. A string is nothing but a collection of characters, and when you define the string with respect to C programming language, you have to define it as a collection of characters that ends with a special character called null character, or you can also say it as a 0 character, which is \0. If you take the remaining data types like the int, float and something like char, we have different operations that we can perform on this int, like the arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and logical operations like relational operations like less than or equal to, and so on, etc. The same operations can be applied on this floating data type also. We know very well about this. But this string is a collection of characters, and these operators, like for example, the arithmetic operators addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, will not work on these strings. So, we know we need some more functions, or we need some functionality to deal with these strings. So, to deal with the strings in the C programming language, or to provide the additional functionality with the strings, the developers of C has introduced the concept of string handling functions. We have so many string handling functions to deal with the strings, as we have discussed earlier, and all the string handling functions, they are predefined functions. They are predefined functions. Therefore, the definition of this predefined function, or the declaration, whatever you say. Of course, there is a difference between the declaration and definition, but in general, when we discuss about the predefined functions, we keep in mind that these functions have the definition that are predefined in some libraries. We have seen in the earlier discussion that some of the mathematical functions like power, square root, all these functions are predefined functions. They are defined in a library called math.h. In the similar fashion, we have so many string handling functions which are defined inside a library or the header file, which has an extension of .h. And all the string handling functions are defined under a header file which is called as string.h. So, it is mandatory that you include this string.h header file in your C program while you are making use of these string handling functions. We will see the list of string handling functions very soon. Remember that when you deal with the string handling function, you should include the string.h header file into your program by using a preprocessor directive called #include string.h. This is the preprocessor directive you have to include in your program while you want to deal with the strings. So, this is all about the introduction towards the string handling functions. We have seen what a string is. and we discussed why these string handling functions are there. Remember that these arithmetic operations will not work on strings. So, to deal with different string functionalities, the developers has given the content called as the string handling functions, which has so many string handling functions which are called as the predefined functions, and they are defined inside the string.h. So, you must include this #include string.h preprocessor directive in your C program while you deal with the strings. With this basic idea on the introductory concepts related to string handling functions, let us discuss what are the various string handling functions we are going to discuss. The first one, what I am going to discuss about the string handling functions is the string length, and then we will discuss the string copy. strcpy stands for string copy. Remember, this particular function name should be written as it is. In general, we have a practice of writing this cpy as cp if you are very familiar with the Linux commands, or we will write it as a string called copy. But this particular strcpy is the name of the function, you should not violate it. Similarly, strlen, and the third function is string comparison function, which is given as strcmp. cmp stands for comparison, and the fourth important string handling function that we are going to discuss is string concatenation, which is given by the name strcat. So, this is called as string length, and this is called as string copy. This function is called as string comparison, and this function we call it as string concatenation. The first function, string length, accepts only one parameter, and its functionality is to return the number of characters that are present in the string. And remember, yesterday in the previous session we have seen that one special character will be included at the end of the string automatically by the compiler, that is called as \0. And when you are dealing with this length of the string, remember that the \0 is not counted by the string length. So, for example, if I say x, y, z, a, b, this is my string. While storing, you will be storing the 5 characters along with this null character, therefore 6 characters are stored. But when you make use of the string length, this will return the number of characters as 5. So, please remember that the string length function is going to return only the characters excluding the \0. We will discuss again in our discussion. And string copy, this is, I will just give a overview of this. We are going to copy the string from the source to the destination. This is very important. The direction in which the string is copied is also important. So, we are going to copy the second parameter to the first parameter, not first to second. And string comparison is used to compare two strings, this str1 and str2, and it will give the difference of the ASCII values of the first mismatch character. Everything we will discuss, but you just remember that this particular string strcmp function is going to compare these two strings str1 and str2. And the last function is strcat, which concatenates the string 1 to string 2. That means, these two strings are going to be concatenated. Concatenation means we have one string, and if you append the second string, this is called as the concatenation. After the end of first string, you will start the second string. This is called, and the entire thing we take it as a single string. This is called as string concatenation. These are the 4 basic and important string handling functions that are available in C. And As I discussed that all the string handling functions are defined inside the library called the string.h. So, make it a practice to include this string.h header file in your C program when you are dealing with the strings. In this session, we are going to discuss only the string length function with one programming example. And in the later sessions, we will be discussing the string copy separately with one programming example. Similarly, we will discuss the string comparison function with one programming example, and we have string concatenation function with one programming example. Coming to string length function, the string length function is defined by the function name strlen, and it is going to return the number of characters. Therefore, the return type of this function is integer. So, it returns whether the string consists of 5 characters, 3 characters, 7 characters, etc. Therefore, the return type of strlen is int, and the string length function accesses only one parameter, that is nothing but the string which you want to pass, or the string which you want to find the length of that particular string. Here you can see a new syntax for defining a string. In the previous sessions, we have seen the discussion of defining a string like this in the format of arrays, like this. This is a new format which makes use of the concept of pointers. This is how we declare the pointer to a string. So, this is also a valid syntax where you are defining a pointer to a string. So, this is a pointer. All these pointers concept we will discuss when we go through the concept of pointers. But right now, you just keep it in mind that there exists another format or another syntax to define a string or to declare a string in the form of pointers. Do not worry, we can also make use of this syntax also. The point what I am going to stress here is whatever format or whatever syntax you use to define the strings, that is irrespective of this string length function. You have to give the name of the array, that is it. This is nothing but name of array. You can give this name or this name, anything is it will accept, nothing wrong in it. And as I told that the main functionality of this string length function is it returns the number of characters in the string. So, the number of characters is nothing but the length of the string, and this is an integer, therefore, the return type is integer. This we have discussed already. And while calculating the length of the string, very important point is it counts only the number of alphabets or the characters that are present inside it. It will not count the \0. So, it does not count \0. This is what you have to understand. For example, in this example they have given it as the pointer to a string, but we can make use of the array representation also. We will see it with a live example also, right. So, he has defined a string pointer str1 which points to the string hello, and when I put this one string length of str1, it would return 5, right, HELLO, 5 characters, and it is going to exclude the \0. This is all about the theoretical part related to the string length function. Now, what we will do is we will go with a programming example. So, this is an online compiler which I am going to use for our discussion. delete this and we will start our program. The first thing is we need to include the standard input output header file, and since you are dealing with the string functions, you need to include the header file string.h. After this, you start your main program and I will declare a character array. So, the character array is declared as char. Let me take the name of the array as str and let me take the size as 50. And let me assign the string in the form of string constant. So, let me take the thing as C programming, end it with a statement terminator. Now, let me take the printf statement, and since the string length function is going to return the number of characters, I will take the %d as the format specifier, which is for integers, and I am going to make use of the string length function, and the parameter that I am going to take is the name of the array, which is nothing but str. That is it. Let me give a meaningful sentence. Length of the string is %d, and for this particular format specifier, the placeholder is strlen of str. So, when the string length function is executed, it will take the input of this particular string and it will return the number of characters in the string. Let us see what is the output here. Okay, let me take the format specifier as ld. Right. See here, the length of the string is 13. Let us check. This C is one character, programming programming. So, this is 11 characters and C is one character. We have only 12 characters, right? But we are getting the output as 13. The reason is we need to consider the space as one single character also. So, if you give 2 spaces, let me check what is the output. So, we are getting 14 here. Remember that the space is also treated as a character in the strings, in the C programming language. So, this is a very simple example of the utilization of the string length function and how it works. The thing you have to do is we need to practice the implementation of string length or the implementation of finding the length of the string without using these predefined functions. So, that is a challenging task to find the length of the string without using this strlen. As I told that for all these string handling functions, the \0 plays very important role because it identifies the end of the string. So, we will see those things in the coming sessions, but right now we are going to discuss how this string length, the string handling functions are going to work. So, this is all about the string handling function, which is string length. So, in today's session we have discussed about the string and what is the purpose of the string handling functions we have. What are the various important string handling functions that are available in C, and out of which we have discussed the first and simplest string handling function, which is called as the strlen function. We have discussed it with an example also, live example. That's all for today's session. Thank you one and all for joining the session.